Hi, Cantor. Welcome to your uh, fortnightly check-in with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon, or rising sign Cancer, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how we're going to speak to you. With that said, remember they are general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody, and that is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. And they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, for your cross purposes for the next fortnight, what is getting in the way? What might you need to be aware of at this moment in time? And for this, you have. All right, so you've got the devil card. All right, so the first thing that I want to say to you is on a more personal level, the cross purposes that are, because sometimes the call is coming from inside the house. The cross purposes that you are potentially setting into motion for yourself are an obsession or an addiction of some sort. If there is an area of your life where you know you've been holding too tightly or something needs to change or adapt, by being too rigid or doing the Cancerian thing and clinging to it too much, you are actually shooting yourself in the foot. All right. So be really honest with yourself over this next fortnight about what you know you're supposed to release, or potentially what is getting in the way because you refuse to see a different way. Now, for those, when it comes to the outside world, or should I say the macrocosm, now that we've looked at the microcosm, which is you, let's see what's going on in there. And for this, you have the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is usually a fire sign woman, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But here, what we're talking about is the macrocosmic energies that are potentially working at cross purposes to you. One of these could show up as a Queen of Wands. So this could be a fire sign woman, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, could in some way, shape, or form be working maybe not against you. I don't want to say it like that, but this could be somebody who maybe doesn't necessarily have your best interests at heart, or maybe something that they want is actually in conflict with something that you want. And ultimately, unless people are quite evolved, they tend to be quite selfish. So, this is something to be mindful of. Now, another way that this could show up as well, because it is the Queen of Wands, this may very well be showing you where your boundaries are no longer boundaries, they're actually serving as your own prison. So this could be something that is kind of not something that is some kind of self-imposed exile, or where you're choosing not to see something could really be coming through here. So I just want you to be really mindful of this over this next sort of 2 weeks. Okay, so for your actions and results, you have the Judgment card. So big changes up on the horizon with the Page of Cups, okay, and the Ten of Cups. This is a breakthrough unlike any other, right? Remember, the Judgment card, aside from its blast from the past energies, it also represents huge change. This is a grand universal clearing of the decks. And you've got this with the Page of Cups, where you have been looking for release and or relief. This fortnight, you are going to find it. This is some really great news that makes its way into your life. This is a breakthrough. And the reason I say it's a breakthrough is because it's the Judgment card. In terms of health and stuff like that, the Judgment card is a chronic situation, right? So this tells me that some kind of challenging issue or situation that's been going on for some time, that potentially has really emotionally worn you down or ground you down in some way, shape, or form. On the other side of all of this, you've got the Ten of Cups. That is one of the best cards in the deck. So they say, like, when you break down, you're just about to break through. This is that. Right. So, in terms of the actions, or the things that you've set into motion, especially for plans and things that you've been kind of working on for some time, but seen probably what feels like no results, this is where you're going to see them, right? So that breakdown in order to break through has definitely hit. And I think for a lot of you, you'll be really glad to hear that. For your career and your communications, you've got the Four of Pentacles, okay, with the Eight of Pentacles, nice, and the Two of Wands. So, first things that I want to say to you is when it comes to your money and your resource, sorry, when it comes to your work and your career, I really like this in terms of Four of Pentacles with the Eight of Pentacles. This is you starting to build a solid foundation when it comes to the career. That Two of Wands, this is you starting to really get clear on what you believe your worth and your value is for the work that you do. All right. So I love this across the board because it means that you're seeing yourself as great as you actually are. For those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, where everybody else is kind of taking the vacations and living a bit wild and doing that whole thing, it looks like a lot of you are really knuckling down right now. For some of you, maybe you're trying to save alongside the studies that you're doing because you have a specific goal in mind. When it comes to those of you that are employed by somebody else, I like this for those of you that are trying to get more money out of an employer. And it looks like a lot of you are building a case as to why. So it's like when you go in and you ask for a pay rise and they say, well, due to the cost of living crisis and yeah, yeah, yeah. And you're like, you know what, bitch, please. Here are all the reasons why you should be giving me my pay rise, and this is what I will accept. Right? It's like you've got them receipts ready to go. And I'm totally here for it. And what I like about these cards is it's like you're doing this in a very strategic way. So it's like the knowledge or the information that you present your boss or your superiors with, by the time it's finished, it's almost like they kind of step back and go, okay, you know what, we need to give this person their money. Um, Love it. For those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, this for you guys is slightly different, all right? Because you're, anyone's like, why is it different for us? Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you're a business owner. I'm a business owner. We're held to different standards, unfortunately, from the higher ups or the powers that be, and from the general public. Unfortunately, it goes with the territory. All right, deal with it. Just deal with it. So this cross purposes energy, that Four of Pentacles is what it's speaking directly to. Where are you being too rigid or holding to a specific way of doing something? There's something here that almost suggests that it's like you're refusing to see another way that something can be done. It's like, here in the UK, we say it's a long way for a shortcut. You got to find a way to get past what you think it's supposed to be and let it be a bit more organic or natural, and that way you'll get more out of what you're trying to do or to create, especially when it comes to money. There's money here for you to be made. That's the Two of Wands with the Eight of Pentacles. But that Four of Pentacles, especially with these energies, it's like you're getting in the way, or maybe you're dismissing, right? Maybe you're dismissing what you kind of know is the not the right way, but maybe you're dismissing what is kind of not really helping. Sorry, I'm trying to get there we go. Maybe you're dismissing something that has maybe come up more than once, right? And I gotta say, like when a message comes up out from like two, three different people that you've never spoken to, that's that don't speak to each other or confer, that's a message. If the same idea pops up in your mind and you keep batting it away and you ignore it, that's a message, right? Pay attention. For those of you that are retired and no longer working, this looks like a lot of you are pouring a lot of money into the home, and I wonder if this is to make it more comfortable or if it's actually just to start thinking more about what you're gonna maybe thinking future proofing the home is what I wanted to say. Excuse me. For your love and relations, you've got the Ace of Cups. That's lovely. With the Hermit card. Okay. And then you've got the King of Swords, right? So the King of Swords coupled with the Hermit card, that's a specialist. This is somebody that is either very good at what they do, somebody that has a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom in a specific area of life, or like so somebody that is really good at what they do, someone that's been in their industry for a very long time. King of Swords, usually an air sign male, Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra. If you're single and you're looking to mingle, there's definitely a chance here for you to run into somebody or to connect with someone. This person's likely to be older because they come up with the Hermit card, and it's likely to be someone that's either been in their industry for a very long time, is very well known at what they do, or potentially somebody who, like you meet someone every so often where they've just got that air about them, where they've done it all, they've seen it all, and nothing really phases them. Once you get over the initial kind of annoyance of it, it's actually really calming to have someone that is just constantly steady. Even if it gets a little bit boring at times, right? But for the most part, I actually think this is wonderful. That Ace of Cups, new relationship energy coming in with or through the Hermit. I gotta say as well, for those of you that are single, this is you potentially connecting with somebody that has been feeling like maybe they wouldn't find anybody either. So if you've been single for a long time, whoever it is that you're connecting to, they'll either be an earth sign, likely to be a Virgo, or they will potentially be an air sign, right? And I would say more likely a Virgo or any of the air signs. For those of you that are partnered, married, or in long term commitments, this for you guys is really nice. This is you getting round to a trip, a journey, or some kind of travel that maybe you promised yourselves you would do a very long time ago but have never got round to. I love this because this is a real break for partners. For your money and materials, you've got the Knight of Cups. That's a solid offer that comes in with the Seven of Cups. Try not to do too much though. And then you've got the Hanged Man, right? So there's a few ways that we could look at this. When it comes to your finances, your money, and your resources, this next fortnight, be very, very, not sparse, be very, very, not careful. What's the word? Allocate your funds rigidly is what I want to say. All right, especially when it comes to things that you're thinking of purchasing. And this next in fact, this next 4 to 6 weeks is not a great time to buy tech unless you were born under Mercury retrograde, in which case ignore that. Now, specifically for your money, the Knight of Cups potentially is an offer, but with the Seven of Cups and the Hanged Man here, you're trying to bite off more than you can chew. And if you don't get something sort of in place to stop yourself, spending, that's potentially going to be an issue for you later. Now, when it comes to your home and environment, it looks like a lot of you are looking to change the home, but it looks like a lot of you are potentially rushing this as well. Maybe because of how you feel right now. I urge you not to do that, right? It's easier said than done. As many of you know, I have the moon in Cancer in my chart. So, home is always a buzzword for us. When you feel it, you really feel it. But don't rush the process, all right? Like, really don't over this next fortnight because you could end up, it's like one of those things, I give this example a lot because it's kind of like me. I'm this sort of person. When you spill something and then you're like, oh my gosh, and you try to mop it up and you end up making it worse. Don't do that this fortnight, all right? When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is all water, right? You are a water sign. Your emotions need to flow. Since you are the sign of the crab, I urge you, and I'm talking to myself here as well, take off the shell and give it a bloody good clean, right? What I mean by that is go to therapy, go to get a massage, go to acupuncture. I don't care what it is. Do something that you know is going to support your emotional well-being. All right, this next fortnight, especially if you can get it done literally in this next 2 weeks, you will be working with the energy. All right. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Have a fantastic fortnight. It looks like it's a mixed bag. There's some really nice stuff here. And then there's some potentially other stuff here. All right. With that said, take care, and I'll see you soon.